It's good to see you, Rich. I didn't take you for a Mag 7 chasing kind of guy.
No, certainly not, Kelly. I think, this notion of the Magnificent Seven, I would just ask rhetorically, I would ask people, are there really only 7 growth stories in the entire world? And clearly the answer to that is no. So I think people are missing many of the opportunities around the world, even in the United States, but around the world, simply by being so myopic on these 7 companies.
Let's back this up for a second, because some might say, well, the biggest opportunity in the world is NVIDIA. We've just never seen a company double revenue in a single quarter when we're talking about from the scope of $7 to $14 billion. And it's still only at a 35 times forward multiple.
Right. So I think, Kelly, I think we have to separate out, when people talk about artificial intelligence, I think we have to separate out the story from the investment opportunity. And I'm not talking about investment opportunity the next 2 weeks or 2 months. I'm talking about, the next year, 2 years, whatever. And I think that a perfect example, a perfect analogy would be the technology bubble in 99 and 2000, where there are all these promises made about the internet. And the internet changed the economy in more ways than we could ever have imagined. I mean, what I'm doing right now with you, nobody could ever imagine that was going to happen 20 years ago. But the interesting thing is that if you bought into the tech bubble a year before the bubble peaked, you still didn't break even for 11 years. I strongly doubt that people are being caught up in the AI hype right now saying, it's okay, I'll break even over the next 11 years. No, they think they're going to make a lot of money very quickly, and it's going to be sustainable, and that these are the great growth stories going forward. I think we have to separate out what's going to happen in the economy from what's going to happen in the stock market.
Let's talk a little bit about those other growth stories that you referred to in your first answer. Where are they? What are the names that people should be considering? In what sectors are they, if they're not the sort of the Magnificent Seven of technology?
Right. Well, Tyler, my favorite example of what we're talking about, and I don't want to name individual companies, but okay. I think my perfect example of what's going on is that I'm sure everybody watching us today knows ARK, ARKK, the ARK Innovation Fund. The ARK Innovation Fund came public in October of 2014, so it's coming up on 9 years now. Over that 9-year period, small and mid-cap industrial and small and mid-cap capital goods companies have outperformed ARKK. So I think the market has turned the page sort of underneath the surface here. The market has turned the page and is looking at new growth stories. I would argue those related to more real productive assets than to the hype of cute wiener dogs in the metaverse and AI and all that kind of stuff.
So the sexy, you don't have to be sexy to be good here.
No, I think that's
good. It's good to be both, right? I mean, I gotta say,
and I think the way to think of it, using your sexy analogy, I'm not going to take credit for that one, but your sexy analogy is think of the market as a seesaw, and on one side of the seesaw, we've got all the sexy investments going on right now. They did very well in 2020, 2022, the seesaw kind of leveled out. Or 2021, rather. 2022, the seesaw went in the other direction, and all the non-sexy stuff did very well. Clearly in 23, the seesaw has gone in the other direction again, but now we're down to 7 or 10 companies. I just can't be that bearish to say that there are only 7 growth stories in the entire world. I think the opportunity set on the other side of this seesaw is maybe historically broad and historically attractive.
Rich, thanks very much. Richard Bernstein, we thank you.